practice ends have been completed. The skips look a bit nervous as they wait for the first jack to be delivered. Men's pairs final, Australia against Ireland. These two teams have battled their way through section play and semi-finals to get to this stage where they front up against each other with records which show that Australia has won this title twice, in 1966 and 1980, and Ireland in 1996. The jack is at maximum length, and the first bowl will be delivered by Australian lead Brett Wilkie. So it's coolish and overcast. It promises to get warmer, but only up to about 18 degrees, not quite as warm as yesterday.
And information for all our viewers out there, of course, the TAB is live betting on this match. Every end there is live betting on it, and at the moment $1.85 each for the winning of this event.
Here comes the first bowl from Kelly.
Yeah, well done. That's it. Well done. We'll be back.
So using this backhand side of the rink for the right-hander. It's early stages of this game. The Australians going through with a 7-win record, 7 wins, 1 draw, and just the 1 loss to Singapore. Their draw was against Jersey in their section. Kelly very deliberate in taking his mark, working out his line. He'll have a target somewhere. He's just needing to take a wee bit off that green, so bring it in, and he's done a little bit extra weight, which was required as well. Just
very close,
tapping in the Australian bowl and a bit closer.
Somebody, send him back. Strike for it, please. Hobbies. Watch his skin here, mate.
Brett Wilkie with his last bowl, looking to be on a good line once again.
You down, lad. So close, bud. Just draw away. I think so, yeah. So close. Another good ball in the air. Break inside your own's good.
He's found his weight very quickly. There's Gary Kelly. So he just needs to make the line adjustment.
Slightly better road. Sharp, be good now. Be good, Sharp. Run the line. Run the line, guys. Run the line. Run the line, Gary. Good, mate. Good, mate.
Well, I think we're going to have quite a bit of animation, aren't we, from the skips in particular. We've already heard McClure very vocal there and giving you a better indication than probably what our television cameras can, because he gets that line very early from where he is, and he can tell. These guys on the head can tell almost the instant it leaves the other bowler's hand how good that bowl's going to be, and McClure's going to call them in. First ball now from Aaron Wilson, the skip for Australia, playing the other side of the rink.
Handy home, mate. Good side up.
Yeah, got it. A few chances there, mate.
Yes, you'll find that Ian McClure will be very deliberate in his pre-delivery program.
Quite interesting, while everyone delivers the bowl pretty much the same, it's where the placement of the feet, the delivery stride, the way they hold the bowl, all those sorts of things are sometimes in big contrast.
Well, the big contrast here is Aaron Wilson quickly onto the mat. And
he's delivered before we've seen the other one end.
Yes, exactly. He's a very quick player. He His mind is made up, and he's just on the mat and delivers.
Around, mate. Good. Like that.
Two chains to the head, mate. Just lose a fraction, mate. Rest the ball. You can't just slip through, cover this.
Yes, well, just on that subject, McClure stood there without the bowl in his hand. He waited until the previous bowl had stopped. Then he got the call from his lead. Then he picked the bowl up. Now look at the feet, one directly behind the other, and then a big wide step across to his side as he delivers.
Get up. Get up. Great effort.
Just needed a bit more contact on that, but very good line, good correction there from McClure. It plays out of the Portrush Bowling Club in Ballymoney.
Big try, mate. Anything extra.
Gary Kelly also from Ballymoney, but from the Ballymoney Bowling Club.
Well played. Sorry, maybe lift it up. Well played.
There's a difference there, so you're right. Aaron Wilson just straight into his work.
Hold that now. Hold this guy.
Hurry, hurry,
Hold.
hurry, hurry.
Onto his own bowl and promotes it nicely. First shot, they've got two.
Yes, we see the last bowl there from Aaron Wilson, turning up the Brett Wilkie bowl, giving Australia two shots. Made it a little bit more difficult as well for Ireland. As you could see the foot there of Ian McClure, and that's where he'd be looking to play onto those bowls of
Go ahead.
the green bowls.
You can clean this one here away, gets you second.
So he's got the two Irish bowls just short of the jack, those two that
give it a
you're
chance,
looking
mate.
at directly down the line. If he pushes this one on
A
with
few
just a
chances there.
slight amount of weight, he might just be able to push one of his bowls onto the shot bowl and dislodge it. This to bring the tide back. Australia holding one, probably two at the moment. Looks a bit wide. Gets onto one, but not the one he was seeking. And so we do have two. Two shots it is for Australia. They open the men's pairs final with a 2-0 Australia leading Ireland.
Yes, a very solid opening end from Australia. Brett Wilkie laying the foundation, and Aaron Wilson, of course, turning his last bowl over to get the second shot. So good start for Australia.
It's a slightly tentative start there, I think, from Ireland, wasn't it? I don't think McClure would be happy with his three bowls. One in the ditch, one good line, but just a bit short, and then the second one, not the best line. It's almost as if there's a wee bit of nerves there coming into this opening match,
Yeah,
opening end.
Just looked to be a little bit there, but he was always giving the bowl a chance. He was down on the head. He had the opportunity of promoting the Kelly bowls or getting some edges off them.
Wee bit more.
Close-up of the bowls these players are using. We talked a lot about that yesterday. The Northern Hemisphere players would be, in general, changing their bowls that they use up there for the conditions
Got it now, mate.
in the southern hemisphere. And
Huzzah.
here at Burnside, two
Jack, hey,
beautifully
bud.
weighted
We both
bowls
short. Very close.
from Wilkie.
Just move around that. Good ball there, Gary. Just over.
On the previous end, the first end, Ireland didn't have any bowls over the jack. They were all just jack level or short. At least this time, Kelly has got one up and over.
Good three, mate. Very close, mate. 2 down.
Ireland had two
Very,
excellent
very
wins
close. Just try and
in
break inside
post-section.
your
They
own
beat
pocket.
England by 17-10. And then in the semi-final, they really were dominant against New Zealand, and winning that by 17-10 as well.
McClure holding his arm out. You can see the bowl crossing the centre line very early, and attempt to make the adjustment on the green line there. Kelly has cut it across the centre line, and it's very good weight, but unfortunately you can see it sitting quite wide of the jack.
Well, yesterday we noticed the players finding it a bit difficult going in this direction, but the wind was stronger. It has picked up a wee bit up high, but won't be affecting at all really the bowls at ground level. Although we heard from some of the players yesterday that they felt that
Hang on, mate.
down at the clubhouse end, the wind did swirl just a little bit. Another nice bowl coming in.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. Yeah, dead right there.
Aaron Wilson trying to quicken it up a wee bit, flicks the bowl to McClure. It's interesting from that angle, watching from behind, that McClure looks as though he's taking a line straight down the white chalk line. Looks to be even aiming down there, and then at the moment of delivery he swings out to where he wants the foot to go, and it works for him, and he gets a bit of spray, white spray on there. Toucher.
Now, mate. Full draw it. Full draw.
Just see Gary Kelly rushing back into the clubhouse, and maybe he hasn't got any chalk with him. This is a good bowl coming in now too. Is it just sliding past the jack? Intentions clear though from Aaron Wilson.
What's the gap, guys?
4 inch, mate. I just need to play a full draw again, mate. Get into there, he dropped in and onto the balls, it's fine. Just full draw again, Paul.
Bowled a perler last time.
Decent effort again. Good try. Well, that's good there. Hold on. It's lower at the tee. Hold on. That's good. Gives us 3 at the tee. That's good. Hold on. Good try. Well played. Well done.
It was a very interesting call in, wasn't it, from Gary Kelly? He says it gives us 3 at the tee. So is he just putting a little bit of frighteners into Wilson's mind? That, you know, if you want to attack this, mate, and it gets killed, you're going to be in trouble. So it was quite an interesting little gamesmanship there.
Yes. Just notice McClure's got his hand over his microphone there. They just discuss a couple of little tactics, maybe, or thoughts that they don't want to share with us all. Well, McClure started walking off already. He knows where this bowl from Wilson's going to end up.
Nice draw. Touch side jack, mate. Just on the draw. Wee chance of niggling after the side once. You know, chip lines in. Niggle off it. Just on the draw. Just like a dead draw another shot. You hit McClure 6-8 inches. Touch the jack. You can make a few out of this. Yeah. Come on.
Nothing too fancy, just to draw a second shot, says Kelly. I suppose when they were looking at it that those two green balls way back there might have been thinking, oh, if the jack moved back there would be better off, but there's always the danger that there's a whole lot of Australian bowls out to the right as he views it now.
Yeah, certainly so. I think he will look at changing his hand, the direction's there, and if he does get a little bit of movement on the jack, it'll be only the green bowls that will come into play. So by changing his hand, he's playing safety first, but also giving himself an opportunity.
Last bowl of this, the second end. Australia leading 2-0. It's the final of the men's pairs at World Bowls 2016. His own bowl, no, nothing there. No danger. And so Ireland are on the board with a single on the second end. It's 2-1 Australia leading. Aaron Wilson and Brett Wilkie against McClure and Gary Kelly. About to begin the third end of this final. It's a coolish start here in Christchurch. The bowlers and some of the spectators here is at about 7:30, 8 o'clock. The coffee suppliers doing a good trade over the back. There's a couple of members of the Australian gold medal winning team from yesterday in the women's 4.
Good opening bowl from Kelly.
It's quite a bit shorter than the first end, which they played in this direction.
Yes, I did notice that Ian McClure and Kelly had a conversation on the length of the end that they would throw. This is the first time they have thrown the jack, so there was a discussion after winning the previous end as to what length they would play this one. So it has been shortened up.
Wilkie very smooth with his delivery. He's bowled thousands of bowls in his time.
Where's that's brilliant, mate. Right down now.
Just grabs the shot back, so that's already developing into a nice little contest. Watch the difference in delivery here of a very quick take back and into his shot. You could hear him slapping his thigh. He's not happy with it.
Up you come. Right, it's useful.
Useful, yes, he says, covering the tee. In fact, right on the tee.
Excellent track, Wiz. Red. A little, mate. Play 3 goodies again.
So some of the spectators finding it, I'm sure he's got a phone in front of him or not. Or has it just been a long night? So what's McClure doing? Is he indicating to the players on the head to just move back a wee bit? Is he?
Yes, he may well be taking a mark off the bank or something,
Yeah,
just to get a line, and they're probably just standing in that line, so asking them to move aside.
Great effort. Well done. Big try. That's good there. Very good ball there. Well done.
It's interesting there. McClure looked really disgusted with that ball, and yet on the head, Gary Kelly was saying, you know, great effort. That's handy there. All those nice positive things.
Yes, he's very intense, isn't he, Ian McClure?
Yep.
Interesting. I've just been doing some timing on the players, how long it takes from the time they pick up their bowl until they deliver it. And Ian McClure is averaging around about 20 seconds, and Aaron Wilson is about 4 seconds. So.
15 inches past Jack Cave. That weight's quite nice.
As he stands there, he just practiced swings with an empty arm, the ball in the other hand, and then he takes the ball, very deliberate with that stance. Now he's just thumping the ground, and frustration. As a man who shows the tension. Oh.
What an effort, mate. What an effort.
He might have misread it from the end.
Yes, I think he thought he had gone too wide.
Yeah.
Certainly came back.
All right, drop in there now. Yeah. Good effort.
No change, buddy. Smashing it.
2 balls to go here, and McClure has 1. That's the next one to be bowled, but he's just wandering down here now to chat with Kelly. Not going to let us hear it. We're able to see them right in front of us, so we can sometimes just see what they're talking about, and there was an indication there, maybe a suggestion of a change of hand here, but I
don't think
see the sense of that.
He's played 2 balls down on the backhand, and there's an opportunity for him to sit on the shot bowl. I think what he was perhaps contemplating was attacking the shot bowl, but the last bowl of Aaron Wilson came in his 3rd shot, so that reduced his options.
Coaxing it all the way down.
Looks to be
Kelly
heavy.
doesn't look interested. He's standing way back, and
Unlucky, Paul. All right, unlucky.
sees it drift into the back. So Australia holding 1. Wilson will endeavour to add to that. Look at him stalking it up there, just stopping, watching. Is it going to get in, or is he underweight? He's underweight. And so it's a single. A red lollipop goes up that we can see. Here it is from Kate Bassett from the Burnside Club. It's another single to Australia. They lead by, well, it's a single to Australia. They haven't scored a previous one. It's a 3-1. 2 on the first Ireland got a single on the second. Australia now have the mat and the jack. They pick up a 1 on the third. It's 3-1. Crowd taking a wee while to warm up here. There's a lot of support from other team members, players who've played their games and are looking forward to the second week of bowls, which begins tomorrow. And there'll be a weekend of finals here again next weekend at Burnside, and live here on Sky Sport, with the culmination being the men's singles next Sunday afternoon. And of course, with Australia having 4 teams in the 4 finals this weekend, there's been a great deal of interest in Australia across the Tasman, as we see Kelsey Cottrell there, who was lead in the gold medal winning team yesterday. And Fox are showing these matches live. Big hello to our audience there. And live streaming around the world as well. And that's how most of the Northern Hemisphere supporters are getting their information. Big day for English fans yesterday.
Change of hand for Kelly. His previous bowls have been delivered on the forehand in this direction. So whether the bowl of Brett Wilkie is just in his eye a bit, forced him to change, as Wilkie continues down the forehand side.
Young Wes, back to the line now, mate. Who's up?
The best, kid. Weir's quite good, Gary.
What are you, mate? Tunyo's one's really good. That's right, mate. Hurry on, mate.
Wilkie was his third, and he follows it down.
Watch him now. Push, push. Right on, Poppy.
Just asking for a push on that, just to roll it over perhaps, but that's very handy.
Stay down, buddy. Not a million miles away. Small correction. All good.
Kelly backhand, looking for that big gap that's there. And again, he's just overweight. We're looking for a temperature of about 17 degrees today. Aaron Wilson looks as though he's expecting it to be a lot hotter with that big streak of, I think that's design, isn't it? Is that fashion, the big white splash across the face like that?
Always worn it.
Yeah. You get superstitious.
Certainly looks to be on a better line than what Gary Kelly was down that side of the ring. Added to the count as well. So it's up to Ian McClure to recover the situation. Australia holding 3 to 4 shots here at the moment. So Ian McClure, he drew on the backhand last time and actually
He did. He looked really good on there.
Yes, he did. He played a very good bowl. Got a front toucher, so he should know the line.
See a lollipop attendant, Kate Bassett, having the 4 red lollipop spread behind her back. Is this a forecasting what might happen here, Kate?
Doesn't look as though he's got the weight, has he?
No.
Don't bowl yet.
All right, Paul.
Yeah, mate.
Next, all right. All right, bullet.
Australia holding 3. It's a better weight here, getting it up out and into those green bowls. So he's...
Yeah, buddy.
Oh, it's in fact 4. You're right, Terry. There's 4 bowls to Australia at the moment, 4 shots. But a big gap there for McClure to draw into.
There's certainly plenty of room for him.
Yeah. He was short with his first. He needs to add good 3 metres to this. He might have done it. He might be right on that jack. He is. Perfect bowl. That's good bowling under pressure. 4 down on the head, and the skip has to do it, and he does it and receives the applause from Gary Kelly, his lead.
Yes, an excellent bowl from Ian McClure. 4 down, moved the jack, and he's happy about it as well.
So Wilson's still down there contemplating his shot.
Well, I think he had not a bad shot before the bowl fell over. He's got a gap there between the front green bowls there to get to the shot bowl, but the worry for him is if he gets it directly onto the jack and it goes back, he could end up perhaps dropping 2 or 3 shots.
Yes, yeah, because the bowls at the furthest away past the jack, at it closest to the bottom of your screen there's 2, maybe 3 Irish bowls there, so if there is the jack moving back into the ditch even, they've got the back bowls. So Wilson walks back. That was his last view of it. This is how he views it from the mat. Forehand, having a wee run at this. He's got that front bowl, misses everything else basically.
Well, it went through and touched the shot bowl. Sort of jumped over the top of them. See it here, he gets onto the front bowl, which comes through and jumps over the top of it.
Gee, that just, well, that could have been almost, yes, it did, jumped it, you're right. If it had gone along the ground, it would have shot that shot bowl out.
I think it would have.
It would have been very handily placed. So there you go. If someone says, how did you hurt your shin bone? Say, well, I was hit by a bowl. How could that happen? They go along the ground. Well, not always. They do jump occasionally. Those jacks certainly do. Here we are, McClure looking to get another one into that same or similar position. He's on another nice line.
Gentle, gentle.
Oh, just sliding past. That would have been absolutely ideal. So after being 4 down at one stage, McClure with his second bowl saved the situation, and Ireland 3-2, Australia leading.
Just see that bowl again. It actually rocked the shot bowl. We see it rocking the shot bowl there and right over between the two of them and over the top of the jack as well.
Excellent camera work. Thank you, team out there. Starting the 5th end now, Australia leading Ireland by 3-2. This is the men's peers final. World Bowls 2016 at Burnside. The lead-off bowler for Ireland is Gary Kelly. Won the peers gold medal with his partner here, Ian McClure, at the Atlantic Rim Championships last year. Forming a very good combination, these two, even though they did have their struggles during section play. They've done enough to get through to this final against an in-form Australian team. Skip Brett Wilkie. And there's Skip just standing to the bottom right there is Aaron Wilson. This is Kelly for Ireland. Favouring this backhand side when he's bowling in this direction. McClure urging it in. Want to get inside that bowl, it does. He'll be happy with that, thank you. Jack level, he indicates. Steve Glasser, one of the coaches of the Australian team. He's parked up right behind this end here on the bank, so he's able to watch it very clearly. That was his applause, you might have heard. And they're up at the other end, inside the Burnside clubhouse. A lot of spectators staying inside till the weather warms up just a bit.
Stay high as long as you can, mate. Stay high. Stay high, Sharp.
Change of hand there we saw from Kelly.
That's right.
Last ball for the Leeds on this fifth end.
Don't whiz. Happy it, son.
Wilkie. Wow, yeah.
Very
well
finely
recognised by the crowd.
Yeah, very finely inside his own bowl. Held up the shot. So very good bowl from Brett Wilkie. See it there, just missing his own bowl.
Has he played the forehand coming this way? So far, I've tended to play the other hand most of the time. And whichever the head dictates, of course. McClure. Looking to reach up to that shot bowl of Australia, the dark green bowl.
Yes, he'll be looking to get at least another second shot, so as he can take the option of perhaps attacking the shot bowl.
Great try, well done.
Another 4 seconds, I think, Terry. I just timed Aaron Wilson, picks up the ball onto the mat. Quick sighter, and away he goes.
Gotta hold that. Show you just go.
Oh, look at this.
Great job, mate.
That's
well
what
done.
McClure was trying to do.
Let's go.
Kelly just studying the head.
Very close, mate.
Definitely one shot
Very, very
down,
close for second.
possibly
Just a
two.
perfect dead draw, mate. You have to slip into here, it gives you a wee bit of position. What's the draw? Huh?
What's the gap?
3 inches, mate. And then about 8 inches.
Hurry, Sharp.
Hurry, buddy.
Is he going to run it out this time? No, he's
Bring him,
not.
mate. Same.
Try, Paul.
Oh, Ellie just. Yeah, try and out again, mate. All good here. Like that.
Yeah, I think he'd be happy to have one in that sort of position there.
Yes, Brett Wilkie's also got one past the jack, and Ian McClure was hoping that if he missed with his second bowl that he was going to get past as well. So I'll have a fairly good look to see whether they are 1 or 2 down.
He really does need to play the same shot that Wilson did previously, doesn't it? Just playing on to the white ball.
Yeah, he hasn't got too many options.
No. Red jackets of the Burnside Bowling Club. You see the logo on the side of the building there, and most red jackets around belong to those members, and they're really fantastic volunteers. And you know, these events don't just happen. A great team headed by Bill Fowley and others, but the support they get from this Burnside Bowling Club and also other clubs around Canterbury who get involved in it by hosting teams. It's a very good operation here. They're experienced at it. They've hosted a lot of top tournaments over the years. Asia Pacific, Trans-Tasman's World Bowls Championships in 2008. And here's this bowl, which is just not going to quite do it. Difference between taking the shot and settling for second shot is a very fine line.
Okay.
So Wilson now knows the situation is good for them. They're holding shot. There's any slight movement of the jack could enhance their situation, because they've got the dark green bowl back here. So any movement there would help them. He's just going to draw it dead, and he does. That's fall back in for you. That'll be 2 shots. He's taken 2 out, and they're going to measure for 3. Gosh, what a great way to... It's always great to see and encouraging to see the skip capitalise on a good situation. That was an outstanding bowl by Aaron Wilson.
Yes, it certainly was. It's on the hand that's taken the big draw, and he allowed for that and came back beautifully into sitting behind the jack. As they have not bothered to measure themselves, the players, they've just called the umpire in to do the measuring for them.
So we've got the 2 umpires officiating in this game are Trevor Davis from South Africa and Sarah Hope, Australia. So we know which of those 2 this is. Certainly not Trevor. It's interesting. I thought she was immediately going to flick out that bowl, but
yeah, they
another go at it.
Yeah, they will generally measure twice.
Measuring for second with 1 Australian bowl taken out? Measuring for second with 1 Australian bowl taken out?
It's 2 out.
2 out, okay, that's fine.
2, good job.
2 it is. So 2 shots to Australia, and they now lead by 5-2. Very tight end, but some outstanding bowls, particularly by Wilson towards the end, just capitalising on a strong situation. 5-2, Australia leading Ireland. This is the final of the men's pairs. So coming up to the 6th end now. 6 of 18 ends in the final. Although we found yesterday that we ended up level after 18 ends in the men's triple and went to an extra end. No one left that match early, that's for sure. So Australia have the mat. Wilkie puts the jack down for the 6th end. Australia leading 5-2. a tiring week. Clearly some of the nations here are finding it not quite summer today. Lots of puffer jackets and beanies out there. Great start from Wilkie.
That. What you got here, mate?
Hurry on, miss. Hurry on.
Oh, just put some pressure on, why don't you, Brett?
Very close, guys. Very close body.
Yes, a couple of great opening bowls from Wilkie.
Yes.
Gently, buddy. Gently. Sharp.
He likes this. Chalk. Oh, almost.
Not much extra.
Wilkie be looking to just get past his own shot bowls. A little bit of cover now required. He's got two good opening bowls. Looking to match the two lime green bowls of Kelly.
2 feet over, Gary. Line's really good, lad.
Not only that, he's also right almost on the tee, just in case the jackers needed to be respotted, as we saw several times yesterday. So Kelly, just a fine adjustment needed here.
Sharp. Sharp.
Shot.
Well
Oh,
played,
great
Sharp.
shot. He made the adjustment. High fives deserved.
Here's the last bowl here from Kelly, sitting onto the shot bowl of Wilkie, and Ireland holding the one shot.
That was an ideal example of a lead bowler. Very exposed, aren't they? Nothing on the green. Bowl your bowl up, and if it's not close, everyone can see that it's 2 meters away, or even 60 centimeters or something like that. You're so exposed. But we saw there Kelly making changes all the time.
Good, mate. Good home there. Good.
Just recognizing that he needed to drop his weight slightly because his first bowl was a couple of meters over the jack. He took a wee bit of weight off and fined his line up slightly and almost collected the jack with his second. And then on the third, taking just that fraction of weight off and parking up right on the jack. So constantly thinking, constantly adjusting. (5-2). Ireland holding shot here.
Where are you?
This is McClure.
How far away, mate? Couple of feet for pace.
Just under that, mate. Trying to turn that now.
No change of hand. That shot, even though it's in his sight, in his line, doesn't affect Wilson and the tactic he's playing here. Coming down on the forehand, looking for it, getting it, and nudging it back to that first bowl of his and getting the shot out of it.
Yes, he was right in the target area. He got onto the shot bowl. He was attempting to get onto the Brett Wilkie bowl, but came underneath it, got onto the shot bowl, moving the jack back.
Work off your own.
Could have gone to any of those bowls and behind. However, nestled in by the earlier bowl that he had
Sneak
played.
under it, just get a wee wiggle off it, mate.
Now he won't be able to see the jack from where he is on the mat. It's hidden by the green bowl up the top, and also the Ireland green bowl. But he knows where it needs to go.
He's got an indication with the Ireland green bowl that's sitting out to the side of the jack. Just knows that he's got to get some, perhaps an edge off that bowl. It'll just come into view. The one with the white chalk mark on it. That's the one that he will be using for a line.
Gosh, what a good line that was too, wasn't it, eh? It was heading in that right spot where he needed it. It's a tight... The jack is almost in jail there.
Yes, unfortunately, he's probably blocked his line now. One bowl left to play.
Find something short up here, eh?
Want me to stand there or you?
Bit short, eh?
We can see where Brett Wilkie is standing. He's giving an indication that the shot is to leave one short, so it may get in the eye of the Irish skip. Get in his way.
He's staying right up there. That's where I need it. Just put one up my feet. Put it right in the line so that McClure has even one more obstacle to go. And look, this will draw applause because he's bowled it almost to where Wilkie was standing. He might have wanted it a little bit further out than that. But it's still difficult, isn't it?
He certainly made it a lot harder.
McClure hasn't moved down to the mat yet. He's still discussing it with his lead.
Good big.
I wonder if he'll look at playing with weight inside the last bowl that was played by Wilson in an attempt to get onto the green bowl, the Irish green bowl.
Pick the weight you feel you need.
I don't know why he's blocking his microphone off. It's not going to give any tactics away, or unless his language is so blue he doesn't want anyone to hear it, but that's not the case. It's just interesting to hear what, for bowlers out there watching this, interesting to hear these discussions and to work out what in fact they're trying to achieve. Anyway, the way he's standing up, he looks like he's going to have a go. First drive from McClure. Down that line, it's getting something, but not what he wanted. He would like another bowl after this. He cleared it out a little bit. And it is Australia collecting a one shot there. So a 2 on the 5th, a single on the 6th. And it's Ireland now leading, trailing by 6-2. So there tactically, Terry, when you talked about Wilkie, was his third bowl, was deliberately went past the jack to get in and just match the couple of early Kelly bowls.
Yes, and that was the one that ultimately ended up as the shot, wasn't it? Well, it'll be interesting coming back in this direction once again. Ireland haven't scored coming this way, so they've got near full length end. Jack is right on the 2 metre mark. Matt approximately 2 to 3 metres up the rink. So it's Brett Wilkie with the opening bowl.
Good shot. Well done.
Irish team from 𝘗𝘳𝘦𝘴𝘦𝘯𝘵.
Gives you another wee look at it, Sharp.
Skip there, you
drop
could
one in,
hear
lad.
in McClure. So Mike Kernahan, who has played for New Zealand for many years, had a spell away, then came back to
Just
represent
stick now.
in the singles
Stick and
last
trot.
year, and then in the
Stick and trot, Gary.
triples.
Stick and trot.
No,
Run the
in
lane.
in the pairs.
Run the lane. Yeah,
They
well
went
done.
through
Good.
in very fine fashion to the semi-finals, but were knocked out by Ireland on Friday.
Very close here, mate. You might as well get it now. Where's that? Right shot.
Just sneaking in for shot again. Wilkie's
Well,
on
lad.
good form.
Very, very close. Similar effort.
Yes, and this is the reason why Australia are leading by 6-2. It's been the dominance of Wilkie. He's just had the edge on Kelly. And that's where it all starts. It's certainly often been classified as a Leeds
Very nice.
game of pairs.
Yeah, it's a different mind set when you go down to the mat, knowing that you're already holding at least one shot here, as opposed to going down and knowing that you've got to save something or play the perfect draw to get in and stay on the board or stay in the match. So Wilson now
Good shot, mate.
looking to
Come on.
add to that first or that shot of Wilkie's, but he's a bit short.
Foot.
Yeah, one day. You can do it, pal.
Australian supporters watching on Fox will be intrigued to see some of your players and supporters here, and with hoodies on and jackets and longs, scarves down on the bottom right there, some braving it with short sleeves, but in general it's a bit cooler than what you'd be experiencing. It's warm-up starting at 9 o'clock in the morning here in Christchurch, and the temperature was probably about 11 degrees maybe when they started
It's
that.
down, mate. Foot, yeah, just.
Okay, buddy.
That's a poor ball from McClure, and he knows it. Wilson immediately into his action, just trying now to maybe sensing that Ireland are struggling a wee bit, and just wanting to compound their problem, put another one in here, drive the knife in just a wee bit. There it goes. 2 shots, high fives, applause from the Australian fans, and McClure will be standing down there pondering his shot. There it goes again.
Yes, a very good bowl from Aaron Wilson. And McClure has been under a lot of pressure in this game so far, and it's happened once again. Very short with his first bowl, Ian McClure, so needs to make the adjustment.
Hurry on that lane. Hurry on that lane. Hurry
Has
on
to
it.
hold his head here. Holds it up.
Big
Doesn't
try,
change the
Owen.
situation, but
Try.
at least he's on target. He's got one more bowl to go. So too does Wilson. McClure will have the last bowl on this, the 7th end. And there we see that there's the 2 Australian bowls just above the jack there as we look at it. And not much else that Ireland can do here. We'll see what they if the situation changes at all with this bowl from Wilson. This is his last. Australia holding 2.
Come on, mate.
Getting around his short bowl, not quite, and not promoting it hard enough.
Yes, the options are a little bit limited for Ireland here, because I think if he does drive and hits the green Australian bowl, it will go onto the jack. However, I don't think it'll go out of the rink. I think it'll come straight back. And if we look down at the bottom of our screen, we can see the green bowl of Brett Wilkie with the red disc. That's the Australian bowl. And they may even have one more bowl closer to the dish than that as well. So the jack going straight back will not leave... there we go. We see it there now. There's another bowl there. So if the jack goes directly back, the odds on that Australia will be still holding at least 2 shots.
But if they kill it, Ireland would have, if everything stays as it is there and those 2 Australian bowls are moved and the jack goes out of play, it'll be respotted and it would favour Ireland. The bowl's still got to be played, of course. Yeah, it's interesting. We've had, when you look at the 30+ teams that are here, nations that you expect to be bowlers, you don't tend to put Turkey at the top of your list. But, you know, and some people say Israel. Well, Israel have won a gold medal at World Championships in previous times. Lots of countries, not so much in Europe or mainland Europe, but certainly in other parts of the country. And it was fantastic that we heard earlier today about the Japanese first ever medal at a World Championship. Here it goes. All that's done is add to the count. That's going to be 3 shots. It is 3 to Australia.
Yes, Australia have just been too steady so far in this game. They've scored on every end coming in the direction they have just played. And for Ireland, they've scored the 2 singles, so it's Australia leading by 9-2.
Men's Pairs Championships, the final at the World Bowls 2016. Australia began well, a 2 on the first. They led by 5-2 after 5. And since then they've scored a single on the 6th and a 3 on the 7th. And after 7 ends, it's 9-2 Australia. Brett Wilkie leading, Aaron Wilson skip against Ireland, Gary Kelly and McClure.
Yes, Gary Kelly with his first ball. He's just struggling, isn't he? He's certainly been dominated by Brett Wilkie, and Kelly's unable to respond to that.
And Wilkie's not the sort of bowler who's going to allow him a gap intentionally, that's for sure. Although that's a little bit weighted for him, but covering the tee. So 2 finals today. This is the men's pair, as I've mentioned, and later on we have the women's singles. Again, Australia featuring through Karen Murphy, the defending champion. She's up against Leslie Doig of Scotland.
Super effort.
Come on, Matty. Come on, mate. Stretch. Big stretches, mate. Come on. Push.
Well, I just talked up Brett Wilkie, so and there he's put in 3 for him. Quite loose bowls. But sadly for Kelly, he hasn't been able to get in there and take advantage. Maybe with this, his 3rd.
So he just needs to get something close, doesn't he, to give himself a bit of confidence and also give his skip a little bit more support.
Oh, that's very ordinary. And McClure could sense it. You could see right from the start. You saw the close-up of in McClure's face, and there was a grimace there. And if you'd seen his arms, he was pushing one arm out to the side, saying, "Yeah, you're not wide enough. Give it more green." So that's loose. 8th end. McClure perhaps thinking a bit of warmth might help him. He's put the jacket on.
Hang around, mate. Weight's good.
Fresh from being presented with their gold medal yesterday in the 4s. The Australians had a very good day yesterday, winning that particular event. That was the first final of the weekend. Quite a big gathering of some notable international bowls people after competition yesterday. The SSI club, which is quite an elite bowling group in the world, and it features some very prominent bowlers and administrators from around the world.
Good, mate.
From a New Zealand point of view, a couple of really outstanding bowls broadcasters, and Ian Birch and Stu Scott were there. And from internationally, there was the likes of John Bell, the president of World Bowls, and also such a prominent player and administrator for England. Several Australians, Scottish and Welsh internationals, and prominent people there for an annual general meeting, which was well chaired by Gary Fleming, who was a self-appointed chairperson of that group.
Grip, buddy. Grip really hard. Yeah, hold on.
There's a lot of green bowls in the group down there, and that might well be the shot bowl. I'm talking green, I mean the light green, and yes, yeah, indicated by Kate Bassett. It has a blue disc, which refers to Ireland, holding 1.
Ready on now. Down.
Aaron Wilson, not to be outdone, sneaks inside and gets the shot.
One down, buddy. Try some of the ball, lose anything.
With his last bowl,
One down.
Ireland were holding the 1 shot. Certainly important for Ireland to get into scoring mode. They can't afford to let this Australian combination get too far ahead.
Come on, buddy.
Was he going to run it out? Is he? No, he's not. A perfect. Oh, yes, he is. He is. Kelly looked at. He could tell. He walked up, picks up the jack now. It did look to be just falling slightly short, but close enough to take the shot. And so Ireland don't let the rot set in. Having dropped the last 3 ends, they get a single. They now trail by 9-3. Australia leading Ireland 9-3. Men's pairs final.
It's all about just getting in, isn't it? Wherever you're comfortable getting the line.
Say that I should play that right back and really short. Stay away from the tee, maybe.
A lot of discussion here as to what length they were going to play.
we are. The man on the left had the short sleeved shirt on, and I was admiring him, and now he, not him, but the fact that he was wearing a short sleeved shirt, and now he's put the jacket on. The hoodie's come on, so it isn't warming up out there sufficiently. Right, so Ireland, the mat and the jack. Discussion of tactics there between the two of them. Shortest end so far.
Yes, Kelly just needs to bring his A game now. And he's certainly done so with his opening bowl. It's a lot better.
Well, they discussed it for quite some time, and I wonder whether Kelly took a little time to convince McClure, or the other way around, because clearly in that last couple of ends, Kelly has struggled with the longer ends. So I suppose a change of tactics is worth trying anyway. And at the moment, first bowls, it's working. Well, McClure's on his haunches again. Look, oh, I like this, he says. Thank you.
Summer guy, if you can. Nobody run away.
Well, for Kelly, that'll be encouragement, won't it? They've changed the length of the end. He's put in 3 pretty good bowls there, and certainly has at the moment the march on Wilkie, and that hasn't happened often. Wilkie still has one to play.
Certainly so. It's 3 best bowls that Kelly has played. So, yes, looks like he might have forced Wilkie onto the other hand. So, the first time that he has played down that side of the rink.
Well, he responds very well, Brett Wilkie. I think Ireland might still have the shot there from our camera angle. Again, just asking the Australians to move across, just to give him an unimpeded view of his mark.
Good effort, Ian. That's good. Well done. Good there, mate. Well played.
That was a good view watching that go down, wasn't it, Terry? Everyone could see the track that it was on, and they'd be saying, oh, yes, this is good, or it might just hit that. Great opportunity to see how a bowl works on the way towards its destination.
Yeah, certainly so. And quickly into his work is Aaron Wilson. Got the option here. Playing perhaps with a touch of weight, turning either of the bowls of Wilkie's. We can see it tracking towards one of them there. Well, he gets a bit of one and a bit of the other, but doesn't get them up the shot. However, he's given himself some good bowls to work with.
About 16 inches, mate.
Lose a wee bit.
I lose about a yard. Yeah. Gentle. Gentle to get down into it.
Oh, it fell the right way. Jack moved the wrong way for them, but they're holding the shot definitely.
Okay. Okay.
This time we can see Wilson going to the head to survey that. The difficulty is it facing Australia is that Jack movement will go towards the green bowls of Ireland.
Yes, Australia.
It's all the behind are all green.
Yes, I think there may be one Australia bowl further back, but it's a matter of what weight that he plays with. So I wonder whether he'll play down on his backhand, Aaron Wilson here, looking to attack the shot bowl. See at the green bowl, the right of the Jack here, certainly looks as though he's playing with some weight.
Missed a lot, has he? No, no. Oh, takes it and puts it out. Now, as we know, that will be respotted, and all of a sudden that dark green bowl will come into play.
Long way short. It's going to be come down to the last two bowls, really, as to who can draw the best. See again, the drive gets onto the outside bowl of Ireland, and that propels onto the Jack. There we can see it there. Jack heading out of the rink, so it's now up to the skips with one bowl left each, the drawing competition.
(9-3), Australia leading. We're towards the end of the ninth end of 18, so approaching the halfway stage. A lot of room in which to draw. And McClure needs to put this close because Wilson has the last bowl in this end.
Grab mate. Yeah, hold on here. Hold on.
Well, the bowl to beat. As we see it there, it's metre to a metre and a half past the Jack, so there's plenty of room for Wilson.
Yep, looks easy, doesn't it? Oh, they're wanting to put the brakes on. And he's into the ditch, is he? No, no, so he couldn't outdraw. Looks easy, a lot of room, but the blue lollipop indicates that Ireland have the shot.
Yes, the first time that Ireland has scored in that direction. So 9-4, Australia leading at the halfway stage of the game.
Try again, sharp.
That Burnside Bowling Club in Christchurch. Overcast day, a little bit cool, but not bad when you're out there in the middle bowling. 9-4, Australia lead Ireland at the halfway stage of the men's peers final. Australia began with a 2 on the first. They led 5-2 after 5 ends. Ireland looked to have dropped into a bit of a hole. They didn't score on 3 ends till the 8th when they scored a single, and again on the 9th. It's 9-4 now, the score. And that's the first bowl from Gary Kelly. Wilkie might have looked to have been struggling a little bit on the shorter end previously, but quickly regains that form.
Sorry. This is a chance, hold on. Right, mate. That's good. You can do this. Big shot for you, kid. For your best.
Just noticed Brett Wilkie in the background there as Kelly was playing. He doesn't look at the bowl that's being delivered. He just constantly stands there with his head down, thinking about his own shot. He probably hasn't even seen where this has gone. And that's a very good bowl from Kelly. Is it going to fall in? So Wilkie just now, I've just been having a look at him there. He goes through this routine of just taking no notice of the line that his opponent uses or anything like that. It's just totally focused on his shot that's coming up.
He's focused pretty well, isn't he?
Yeah, yeah. Oh, goodness me. That's beautiful. Jack going past that danger Irish bowl, which was behind. Could have stuck in there, but no. It just picks it up clean, runs it back. He stays with it. Just to change his line. The Jack has moved to the left off the centre line. Breaks on.
Good try, Ian. The weight's actually quite good. These both tight, yeah. Hold on, good try.
Australia holding the one shot. And Wilson looks to be very well pointed as well.
Oh, he did get the little slide. Directs him into the shot.
Boy, not far away, that's an art. Yeah, favourite two down yet. Yeah, nice dead draw. You have to just pick up that Jack. Brilliant.
Onto the Jack would be ideal for McClure. Not a million miles away.
Easy, lad.
Just underneath it. Oh, see where the Jack might have ended up. See, they've got the two bowls there. Didn't manage it. One each to come. So I think we've seen it's just one to Australia.
Turn that cap.
Second bowl of Wilson. What did they discuss? Getting something up and over.
Very good, this guy. Great shot, mate. Well done.
Yes, that is another shot. Australia holding three. So the pressure is really on in McClure. Doesn't really need to change too much from his previous bowl. He was just a little bit too tight.
Well, he can work off that shorter of the two white bowls. He can play the jack and movement back to his other green bowls down here to the left.
Give it a chance now.
And he's only been a fraction off both times.
You can do this, Paul.
Wilson still has a bowl remaining on this, the 10th end. This might be a vital end in this match. Last bowl for McClure, looking to salvage the situation.
He's starting to show some interest.
Touch on that, slide on that, drop in, he says. Didn't fall in for him. It falls out. You hear the from the crowd. It worked against Ireland. It was always going to fall that way if it fell at all. That's certainly not the luck of the Irish at the moment. There it goes. Just decided it had had enough. And so's McClure. Last bowl, 10th end. Australia 9-4 up and holding shot.
Let's go. Come on, run this.
Is he into the count? Into that wee gap there? No, he's just backed off as well. Taking out one, taking out two. 2-2 Australia, 11-4.
It's the hard work of Ireland to score on the previous two ends. They picked up singles. All gets undone on one end. They drop the two back.
The jack is sent down by Brett Wilkie of Australia to start the 11th end. 11-4 is the score. Australia leading. The Irish quite happy with the shorter ends this time. Wilkie sends the jack almost into the ditch, so it's right down to the tee. He'll play on his backhand down his left-hand side of the rink. Oh, he starts very, very well. So if you were to summarise this first 10 ends, Terry, would you just take it back to the lead contest pretty much the determining factor or not?
Yeah, very much so. It's been Brett Wilkie that's played more consistent than Gary Kelly. He's outled him on probably 9 of the 10 ends, and we've seen it again here where his opening bowl right nestled in beside the jack. So it's the foundation. There's been a great foundation laid for Aaron Wilson, hasn't it? And he has responded when he's had to, but he's had the luxury of having those bowls on the head.
See what I was just talking about. Wilkie not even interested in the previous bowl going down. He just finds other things to do.
It's really good, guy.
Hey, mate.
And only now does he look up to see where that last ball finished.
Right, man. Very close to you, whiz up. Come, buddy. Come on, mate. Hurry now. Hurry now.
Oh, two very good bowls. Brett Wilkie.
Trying to play a wee bomb, lad. Do your best, Gary. One in the mixer. Hurry in the track now. Hurry in the track, Gary.
Now, if that had been his first bowl, and he had 2 to go, saying that's pretty good. He just a slight correction needed, but he probably could have had that little slide off that front bowl would have helped him. But it's just making things a bit awkward for Ireland at the moment as Wilkie parks up 2. And Wilson can come down and think tactically about this. Or just plonk another one in.
Interesting to see what Ian McClure plays here. He's studying it quite intently. I think he's looking at the option of whether he plays on the forehand with some weight. If he can get onto the bowl, the left-hand side of the jack there, he may be able to remove both of them. He's just going for the draw with his first bowl.
Up, buddy. Hurry in. Oh, brilliant lane, mate. Unlock a yard.
Yep, that another yard would have done it. Holding 2 on this end, the 11th, and leading by 11 to 4. Australia looking strong.
Right. Run hard.
Well, has he opened up the head for
Yeah,
McClure?
I would. Chance of 2 balls. Jack's ditch.
Be driving.
Run
McClure.
away and wait, you see to play it now.
He's had an opportunity created for him here by Aaron Wilson. He moved the bowl that was sitting on the centre line, so opened up a gap for him to attack the jack.
Be good, buddy. Be good.
Oh. He stands there, hands on hips, looking dejected. You could see as that bowl went down where it was going to end up, and it was just going to hit that short bowl, just, and that's all it needed.
So Aaron Wilson will be looking to add to the count. 2 bowls are vulnerable at the moment, with Ireland having 2 or 3 third shots.
Right, Ian, take your time here, Paul. Wee chance. Come on, come on, come on up, look at this here, mate.
An opportunity for Ireland.
Well, it's a world championship at stake, and the players can take as long as they like to work out the shot that's required.
Same ball does it, doesn't it?
I think he's really just settling himself. He knows that he's going to be driving. The 2 bowls is what he wants to take out.
As you saw the head there, if they were both to go and the jack was to stay, well, that's good news for Ireland. He cleared the way with his last. Now the view straight down this line. Here we go. He's certainly narrower in the last. Oh, he's going to have to do some damage. Well, it was never on that one.
Yes, you could see it start in its early part of its journey. It was inside the centre line. So Australia retained their 2 shots. It's the completion of the 11th end, and Australia have gone out to a commanding lead of 13-4.
Yes, he needed the same line as the previous shot. His previous drive would have been spot on. And he knows that it's not going to get there. 11 ends gone, 13-4. 2s on the last 2 ends for Australia. And this, the men's pairs final. Australia won this in 1966 with Albert Palm and Jeff Kelly. And again, they won it in 1980 through Alf Sandercock and Peter Rubin. That was the last time Australia won it, so it's been not since 1980 for them. And for Ireland, they won the title in 1996. Jeremy Henry and Sammy Allen was the combination then. So neither of these countries have won this recently. The champions in 2012 was Scotland. New Zealand won it here at Burnside in 2008. Gary Lawson and Russell Meyer.
Run the last wee bit, Gary.
Canada with Ryan Bester and Keith Roney won it in 2004. And Scotland again in 2000. Alex Marshall, the constant factor in that Scottish combination in 2000 and 2012.
Sandy, one down, buddy. You're 10 inches short, that's all.
There we see this habit of Wilkie's just to, and it all is really is thinking and not allowing himself to be distracted, thinking about what he's got to do.
Yes, just continually concentrating on what his program is. Here he goes again, delivering his last bowl on this, the 12th end. Pretty much on target again.
Oh, sharp. Do this, mate. Sit the boy, make it 2. Lift your own skate. Okay. And up yourself.
Well done, Gary.
It's 2 good balls, well done.
Just not working for them at the moment. Ireland, on any other day, that might just have knocked that shorter bowl up and sat on the jack for a shot. But not this time. It just pushed it through a little bit too far. But still, a couple of handy bowls there. Australia holding the 1. The dark green bowl. Australia with the red discs on theirs, and Ireland with the blue, but so easy to distinguish in this particular game with Ireland, both players using the same coloured bowls.
We tried this go.
Yeah,
Good there.
draw to it, rest the ball, lift it once. Just touch the jack. Come on, Paul. You can do it, mate.
Put his arm out early, indicating that he was wanting to hold the ball out to the side.
Why good enough or not?
They never take any notice, the bowls, do they?
No.
As a skip, Terry, and you've skipped a lot in your extensive and successful career, when you're in a situation like this, playing 18 ends and you're into the 12th, as a skip who's leading at 13-4, as opposed to a skip who's behind by 13-4, what's the difference in mindset?
Oh, certainly from McClure's point of view, he'll be doing the sums. He'll be saying to himself, well, we've still got 6 ends to go. We're 9 behind, so effectively if we can pick up a couple of twos, we're right back into this game.
Off the back.
From Aaron Wilson's point of view, he won't be playing just to protect his lead. He'll be wanting to continue putting pressure onto the Irish combination, and he will say to himself, and him and Brett Wilkie will be discussing it, we need to just keep on scoring some shots. As long as we're preventing them from scoring, we'll be happy. So it's Ian McClure who's 1 down at the present time. A couple of reasonably good second shots, so whether he'll look at attacking, playing with some sort of weight perhaps on his backhand.
Okay.
Well, it's just not working for him at the moment, is it?
No, it wasn't what he wanted. The line wasn't right, and but it could still have worked in Ireland's favour. That short bowl.
Yes, he was really well underneath the line. It would have been a little bit fortuitous if he had got a result out of that.
He would have taken it, though. Two bowls remaining, the 12th end of this men's pairs final. Australia leading Ireland by 13-4. Australia in section play lost 1 and drew 1 out of their 9 matches. Ireland lost 3 to 1 to New Zealand, 1 to Malaysia, 1 to Wales, but then came right when it counted and beat New Zealand in their semi-final, and also beat England in the quarters. Both of those scores 17-10, so they ran into a really good hot streak when it mattered.
Draw it. It's hard, lad. I vote. So that just run the ball out.
Bit of discussion on what the options are. I think he needs to look at attacking the shot bowl again. He's got 2 seconds. There's Neil Booth, of course, who is the Irish coach. A very good bowler in his own right, of course. Neil having won the World Fours in 2004 for Ireland.
Yeah, Paul, a big goal for us here.
Just wonder, it's a confidence thing too, Terry, isn't it?
Get it, Paul.
Well, he's been off target with his last couple of attacking shots, one on this end and a couple on the previous end, so perhaps the confidence down a little bit.
Backhand swinging it in.
Move!
They need to get this.
Yes,
it's
boy!
not. Oh, it is. It is. Takes it out. That was very good. That'll boost the confidence. A little bit of relief, a huge amount of relief for Ian McClure and Gary Kelly. So with that shot going out, they held 2 seconds. He needed to be straight and true with that. He was. Punches. Back in the game. It was starting to slip away at 13-4. 13-6 is much more healthy for the Irish. 6 ends to go in this men's pairs final. Australia, who've led throughout, lead by 13-6. Shorter end. Kelly seems to play better with this length.
Decent guard.
Yes, well, it'll certainly give McClure and a bit of confidence.
Well, it's amazing what just a shot like that can do to a team, isn't it? They were starting to look as though they were not beaten, but feeling the pressure too much. They just couldn't get anything going for themselves. And just a shot like that, which gives them a 2 rather than being, you know, having a massive gap on the board.
Yes, they couldn't really afford to let Australia score again. They had to get themselves back into the game. They were 13-4 behind. Australia scoring 14-4, 5 ends to go. They've got to pick up 5 twos to be back at equal at the end. And that's not an easy task when you're up against a quality combination, a quality lead like Brett Wilkie.
Well, from the 5th end through to the 11th. Australia had scored 10 shots and Ireland only 2, so they were really definitely struggling to get anything on the board. And that's the first 2 that they've scored. So 2 quite good bowls there. Nice weight for them. Wilkie comes in, ruins it for them. No, falls out.
So close, kid.
Has to be tight on his line again, isn't he?
Yeah. No, he needed. Well, it's easy to see what he needed there. So 3 bowls grouped together there didn't quite make that slight amount of correction needed. Wilkie on the jog. So once again, we're seeing the decision, once Ireland get the mat to make the end slightly shorter, works in Kelly's favour at least. He seems to be more comfortable with that. And Wilkie, as we see here, has 1 in there, of course, as you'd expect from him, but the other's a couple of metres over. Still could come into play, of course.
Yes, it's always important that if you're not on the head that you are past rather than being short. So Brett Wilkie won't be unhappy with the bowls he's got past. He's got the 1 shot.
That was good effort. Really good try, that's good. Well done. It's good though, well done.
Let's go.
Well played.
Good bowl, right? Good bowl, says Wilkie.
Come on Ian, opportunity still there, mate.
Perfect, man. Try.
What's the pace, Scott?
Mate, you're 15 over. So close, pal. Dead draw, touch the jack.
Well, Ian McClure doesn't need to change his weight too much. Any movement of the jack will be in his favour.
Unlucky, just overplayed it, pal. Okay. It's actually not a waste there, just in case. That's fine.
Yeah. Start.
Oh, Wilkie's right down on his haunches.
He got it in a very good position though, hasn't he?
Yeah. He's just saying, okay, get multiples out of that. Well,
Well, there is opportunities.
that draw onto there.
Well, I wonder if he's going to look at trying to remove the shot bowl. He's probably got...
Well, if that's right, if that was to go on to the white bowl straight through,
Yes.
stay in there. There's a multiple counts or draw, and the jack moves ever so slightly across, maybe. But that looks like the option, Terry, for a big numbers is to have a go at that shot bowl. Is he confident enough after his previous run shot, which worked for them?
Yes, well, it's the green bowl with the red disc is the one that he was wanting to remove, and it's unfortunately it's short of the jack.
Well, this is the 13th of 18 ends. Sure.
Just elected to go for the draw, looking for a little bit of movement of the jack.
Really good try now. Really good try now. Really good try now, buddy.
Just moved the jack the other way. Oh, see if it had gone there. That would have been ideal for Ireland. Gone there, well, meaning there. Hoping you understand what I mean there. Over to those, yes, to those green bowls there would have been fine. Or sit in front of... You see now a little squirt on the other side. He nearly picked it up clean.
Yes, even if he'd got a little bit of movement on the face of the jack,
yes,
would have gone back to his own bowl.
Karen Murphy, who later on today will be playing in the final of the women's single. She's a defending champion.
Down. Down there. Come on, rip.
Oh. 1 to Australia. That was one of the tighter ends we've seen in this game. 14-6 after 13 ends, 5 remaining in the men's pairs final.
Ryan Baldwin in the blue jacket there, former New Zealand representative, now living in Australia. Plays out of Musgrave Hills.
A bad bowling family, was it? Father and sons.
From the Taranaki region.
Yeah. Playing the 14th end, Australia against Ireland, and leading by 14-6.
Come on, Wiz up. Come on, Wiz. What a shot this is. It's on the tee short. Your foot short, wee man.
He's never far away, is he,
No.
Brett Wilkie?
Now this is the big test for Kelly. Looked more comfortable with the shorter end,
Hold on to your line,
heading
guys.
down this
Hold
way.
on to your
The
line.
previous time he was well astray, couldn't get anything close.
It's not a
Therefore
bad effort
putting
now.
added responsibility on Ian McClure.
He's generally been reasonably well weighted, Kelly, but he's playing a lot of bowls across the face of the head, finishing narrow.
Give it a wee try, bud. Just grip now, grip to the
Looked to
big
be
guy.
better line from
Grip.
Kelly.
That's good. Well done. Well played.
Last one. Wiz. Three the best. Come on, Wiz. Come on, Wiz. Hold up here.
Stop it. Stop it. You're showing off.
Yes, the bowl of Brett Wilkie. Outstanding. Making it a little bit harder for the Irish. Right in front of the jack.
Is he going to have a wee run at this?
Yes, we might see the big fella letting loose.
Be good.
Two.
Whoa!
Short. Well done. To help. To help.
Australia still holding the shot. They see the jack down there in the centre of your screen in the ditch. And the closest bowl to that is the one that's just short of the ditch, and that belongs to Australia. Is that a toucher on the ditch as well?
Yes, there is also a bowl, an Australian bowl that's in the ditch.
Out to the left there.
I don't think
That's
it
not
won't be.
making
It won't
out.
be in the play.
No.
It's not going to be a shot. It's right out on the boundary peg.
Yeah, see, there's that dark green bowl just by the boundary peg, that where the two bottles are. That's a peg indicating the side of the rink, and that's just in basically, and a long way from the jack. The ones that are counting are particularly the dark green one that's slightly obscured by the Irish bowl. That's the shot. Looking to draw inside the shot bowl, right down towards the ditch.
Come on, Ian, get up.
Needs
Get
to
up.
get past that. Not going to.
Perfect line. Just
Yes, he was on a very good track. Needed another good metre of weight.
Blink and it's gone. Wilson underway already. He went into the ditch with his last. He'll just chop a bit off that one. Or has he?
Chance here.
No, that's two in the ditch.
You're 5 feet off the edge of
They're
the
still
ditch.
holding shot though, Australia.
You need a yard.
Indicator on the bank as to where the jack sits in the ditch.
The players can't see it from the mat. They've got a fair idea, but when they walk down to the mat, it looks totally different down the other end. So his line was very good as green previously. He just needs it to hold up about now. Now, hard luck. Good shot of the bowl, shows you the brand and type of bowl that McClure is using. And here it is, just toppling, and once it gets to there, it's always downhill towards the edge of the ditch. And Wilson's had 2 in the ditch.
He looks to have less weight this time, hasn't he?
Oh, he's done that beautifully. Benefit of 3 ball, Piers.
Keep the best to last.
Yeah. Well, I suppose the good thing is that McClure can use that.
Yes, he's 2 down though, and he needs to play it pretty exact.
He needs to be exact, yeah.
To roll that into the ditch and stay there. A wry smile from Brett Wilkie.
Hats off to Wilson. This one is just gauging where he needs to. Well, he knows exactly what he needs to do, is to draw inside that. That's that's an outstanding shot. Drawing to the ditch, difficult at any level, but in a world championship when the pressure's on, although it's not quite so much pressure for Australia at 14-6 up.
I'm just wondering whether he's looking at some options here. We see the shot bowl there, and then further up the green is the second shot bowl. It's, you just see it there coming into view, the red disc one. Whether he's looking at an option of driving that bowl over there and perhaps getting a follow through to the other one. It's a sort of desperate situation.
Yeah,
that's
they need to score.
The difficulty for Ireland. It certainly looks as though he might be something along those lines, I think.
He's certainly changing his hand anyway. Oh, he did get a result out of it, but it's still 1 shot to Australia. The dark green bowl one was still the closest, but it was 2 down at the time. So Australia 15-6. Ireland reduced that on the head by 1. Four ends to go. 9 the difference. Brett Wilkie throws the jack down, maximum length almost. Australia leading 15-6. It's the 15th of 18 ends. This men's Piers final at World Bowls 2016. The green playing perfectly. Just had a shot there of the greenkeeper, and he's had a really plenty of positive comments about the way the greens have played over the first week.
Here's Glenn Miller.
Why not?
Telling me this morning it's been pretty arduous work, tiring. He's got another week to go.
Come on.
A change of hand for Kelly. Over onto the forehand. Been regularly playing down the backhand side of the green, going in this direction. Have it, try something different. They're 9 behind Ireland. 4 ends to go, including this one.
Is that having your fair crack at this one, mate? Come on, mate.
Wow, stop it.
Very close, lad.
Stay high and run, Sharp. Great effort. Blade. Pace is all over it. Blade.
Looking there to draw close or rest on that shot bowl of Wilkie's. Not a great deal, not far away from the shot.
Keep turning it, mate. Down. Right on, Wiz.
Yeah, it's another great bowl from Wilkie. He splits the two Irish bowls, gets in between them. Any movement of the jack now, he's got a little bit of cover there.
To your back, just draw to reach. Nice positive shot now. Turn the camera. Set one of the bowls is good.
He's changing hand, going back onto that backhand for this shot. Wanting to get in there to those two Australians. Found the hole, has he? No, no. So one moves out and he drops in for second shot. So they've got 3 seconds there, Ireland at the moment.
Good shot, Gary. Well done, lad.
The Leeds job is done.
Good shot, buddy. Did it really well.
Shot here, this guy. Shot, mate. Well done. Good. Right's good.
Jack, missed the ball. Yeah, mate, you don't really keep it
The
going.
way things are going, Ireland will probably saying to themselves, if we'd played that shot and got that close to the jack, we would have run it back to the opposition. It's just the way things go during a match. And luck works with you or against you sometimes. Ireland 15-6 down. We're playing the 15th end.
McClure go over onto the forehand, looking to sit the shot bowl, or a little bit of movement of the jack. He's got the 3 Kelly bowls in behind.
Try, Ian. Really good try. It's another great ball there. Very, very good. Well done.
White's perfect.
Well played. That's good.
Down there now.
That gives us another one there, Ian. Yeah, come on ahead, mate.
So while they're one down here, it's still potentially a good end. The possibilities are there for Ireland, aren't they?
Well, he's Ian McClure. He doesn't need to change too much from his previous bowl. He had perfect weight for it. Movement of the jack. He only really needs to move it 6 or 8 inches, and he can bring all those bowls into play that are past the jack. See them there, the 4 lime green bowls. Shot bowl to Australia beside the jack. So a little touch movement, similar weight to, as I said, to his previous bowl.
So as you can see from that shot that if the jack there moves backwards slightly towards those light green ones, there's 4 of them there. It has to be a perfect shot. Has to have a bit of luck go with them as well. They haven't had much of it today. But potentially Ireland are in a strong position here, even though they're one down.
Will it turn enough?
Oh, look at that. You see, that's talking about a bit of luck as well. It was almost the perfect bowl.
Yes, look, the weight was outstanding for that shot. He just,
Beautiful effort, mate. Great try.
he was not far away then.
Of course, now with Wilson, what's going through your head for this next shot? As we see again how close McClure was.
Wilson will be looking to get a bowl in the mix there and behind.
Yeah.
Doesn't muck around. He's
No.
he's delivered. He's on his way up.
So he can see the potential of a big score for Ireland if McClure plays a perfect bowl. So he needs to get in amongst these green bowls. Oh, he might just draw another shot. Oh, no, he's right in there. That's what he was. Two shots, and also in amongst that group.
Oh, that's a pretty awesome bowl from Aaron Wilson. He's got the cover there and another shot. Holding 2 Ireland, Australia.
This was perfect. Look at right in there. Touches the green of Ireland, drops back in. Not only does he cover that group of potentially dangerous group of 5 bowls, but he gives Australia a second shot. Now, the options.
Drive, kill.
Drive, yeah.
Kill the end, get it on the respot.
Yeah, because they've got very handy bowls.
Look,
Straight onto the dark green, onto the white.
Yes, I think some of the green bowls would go with a drive, but look, he's got plenty there. He's 2 down.
Come on, buddy, you can do it for your pal.
It's too hard now to trail that jack.
And the rewards aren't the same anyway.
Exactly.
So, massive bowl here for Ireland. 2 down. It would take Australia to 17-6 here if he's not successful with this, or it could turn around totally. Just think about it again.
Yes, a little bit of moisture on the palm of the hand, so just needs to get a grip. There's the bowl.
Silence in the crowd. Here it goes. Looking for those target bowls. Oh, he's missed it by miles. Two to Australia again. They lead by 17-6. And a tense end for Ireland. Australia are comfortable.
Yes, and
certainly now at 17-6.
Very good position, Australia now. 17-6. They'd be looking to carry on the scoring, pick up a couple this end. The game will be all over.
Three ends remaining. The 16th we're playing now, 17-6. So with 3 ends to go and trailing by 11, you can easily work that out, that Ireland do need to score big numbers now. And the most they've done is 2, and they've only scored on 5 ends. 5 of the 15 to date.
Start from me, guy. Well done.
That's one of them that they need.
Who's that?
Well, Brett Wilkie with his second bowl, drawing the shot. They must score in for Ireland.
Lines all over it. Lines all over it. Good ball. Same, buddy. Just.
McClure encouraging his lead. Knows how important this end is, that they cannot allow Australia to score, and they must score numbers themselves. A single won't cut
See
it.
if you can draw a wee ball here, guys. Bonuses if you tell me just turn the wide. Script, lad. Yeah, it's a good area, Gary. Well done. Good areas. Well done, lad.
Ireland looking for their second title, 1996 previously. So you see Neil Booth standing there, again watching very intently how his team handles this. Pressure's been immense right from the word go. World Championship, first of two finals today. There's the jack just touched, a touch there from the skip for Australia, Aaron Wilson.
Position where you hit, just draw to reach. Just try and squirt the jack or just slip into that area, build that up, see how it goes.
McClure on the forehand, redrawing, get a little bit of movement of the jack. Be to his advantage. Lining it up pretty well, isn't he?
Hold.
Come on, big nice.
That's that luck thing, isn't it? Eh?
Nice, probably 2 phases.
Yeah.
Yes, I mean, Aaron Wilson, he was heavy with his first bowl and he just caught the edge of the jack and it went closer to the Australian bowl, and then of course Ian McClure, he doesn't quite get it clean and he still ends up in the same position.
Well, sharp.
One down, buddy. To get the big result, I think you still need to play it here. Dead draw, you know, you touch jack that way there. Playing there, you're always trailing to them.
Is it just a draw though, is it? Or is it draw to try, kind of get down to the white?
Oh, you could potentially, yeah. Drop off these and down, you'll be very close for shot. Get down and onto the jack. Just treat it as a draw, mate.
Some fairly clear indications
Yeah.
from Kelly. They've got to look at making shots.
Don't think so, buddy.
The boys from Ballymoney
Only worth one
in Ireland.
Oh, go ahead.
Ian McClure from the Portrush Bowling Club. Commonwealth Games gold medal in the fours back in 1998. Played over 80 caps for Ireland, facing one of his biggest hurdles yet. Now to get around that short bowl and to take the jack back slightly to those other green bowls would be magical. And again, he just can't quite move it, but he's got the shot.
Well done, mate. Well played.
So you can see the group of Irish bowls across to the right of the picture as you see it.
Yes, I just don't know if he can get past the front bowl and get enough movement, to have enough weight to get movement onto the jack. That's the difficulty he's got, to get the trail.
There's still this bowl from Wilson to go, which might change the situation totally, of course.
Let's go. Let's go.
Just going to park up there and just say, you're going to do it, you're going to have to beat this to do so.
Let's go.
That was fantastic. They're well in control at 17-6, but they're potentially, of course, they could still lose the match, but not with bowls like this. They know Ireland need to score heavily, and all they've done is shut them out and made life very difficult for Ireland to get anything out of this.
Try and thin the bowls and thin that bowl under the back wicket.
Well, what's there, Terry?
Really tough one.
It's got maybe the hit and hope almost.
I think it just about is, whether he drives the front bolt and looks to get a result coming through.
Two Wilkie bowls are right at the back and close to the ditch, so they're the back bowls. If the jack goes back there, that works for Australia. If he plays onto that green bowl, the one that's just short of the jack, and onto the white, and takes those two out. But all you're looking at really is it's close your eyes and go for it.
Yes, he needs to get through that front bowl, and hopefully it can edge the jack out to the side of the rink. If he comes through the green bowl up the front and it comes onto the jack and it moves out to that right-hand side.
If.
Yes.
Isn't it, really? I saw him as he came back. I just had a look out the window at him, and he was just shaking his head as if to say, well, this is really, we've got to get some luck of the Irish. Good luck out of this. What can he do at 17-6 down? Wow, there was a big gap there, and he found it. So, not a good way for that end to finish for Ireland. A single to Australia. 18-6 is the score with 2 ends remaining. It's really out of reach for Ireland as they play the 17th end.
Yes, they have to pick up maximum on 2 ends. 6s on each end.
Jack into the ditch, so it's returned to Ireland. Kelly takes the mat right back. Probably look for a medium length end. Well, neither of these combinations have looked like scoring a 6. The biggest score we've had on any end was on the 7th, when Australia picked up 3 to take them to 9-2 ahead. There were a couple of singles from Ireland on the 8th and 9th. Australia came back with 2s on the 10th and 11th. And then they've won the last 4 ends. So playing 17, it's Australia leading by 18-6.
Yes, Ireland just got a little sniff, didn't they, on the 12th? Then they picked up a 2 to be 13-6 behind, and at that stage they thought if we can just keep going like this, we may be able to peg it back. But it was all Australia after that, scoring on the next 4 ends.
At the end of this match, we'll have interviews with the winners. We'll be showing you some highlights of today's game, and then, of course, later in the day, 1 o'clock, we're back for the women's singles final between Leslie Doig of Scotland and Karen Murphy, Australia. Murphy, the defending champion.
Come on, buddy. Squeeze. Squeeze. Very good, guy. You're all right, mate.
Damn.
Wilkie there or thereabouts, as he has been all match, setting up some potentially good scoring ends for Australia, giving Wilson not the same sort of anguish that McClure has faced throughout.
Yeah, for guy.
So the score situation is Australia leading by 18-6. We're playing the 17th of 18 ends. So in the 2 ends remaining, to force an extra end, Ireland must score maximum on this end of 6. I don't know whether McClure heard me then. He had a bit of a grin on his face.
Back one.
This Irish team, to get where they are today, have played some exceptional bowls. They did drop those 3 matches in section play, of course, but still got through just into the post-section play, where they then beat the England team by 17-10, put them through to the semi-final, where they came up against a New Zealand side which had won its section and had got through to the semis because of that, through the bye system. And they beat New Zealand and beat them very well by 17-10. New Zealand never really in that. Now they're in the final against Australia, who'd beaten Scotland in the semi-final.
Come on, Disco.
Have a look at this from Wilson.
Score 6 out of that.
That's a very good bowl.
That's basically what he's saying.
Down into that. Down into the last ball, chop it out. You hold off, get the green away.
He's to move one of the Australian bowls. He's going to miss it wide, so the task has become a lot harder.
Yeah. Almost impossible now. You could see what Kelly was asking for, to move that dark green bowl of Wilkie's back, and then that would open it up for a last shot at the shot bowl of Wilson's, potentially. But now, as McClure goes down, he'll see that for them to get 6 and include that one right down the bottom, that's a step too far. Here comes Wilson again. Might just sit on one of the Irish bowls, not quite. Oops, taking their caps off, and here we go. They've decided that that's it. They can't salvage the situation. And a dominant performance by Australia. The Australian team of Brett Wilkie and Aaron Wilson have won this title. Australia winning their 3rd men's pairs title at World Bowls Championships. And they really have done it well. Brett Wilkie and Aaron Wilson.
Yes, it was certainly the foundation, wasn't it, that was laid by Brett Wilkie. It was absolutely outstanding. And when Aaron Wilson had to play the big shots, he certainly did. It was a day that was real tough for the Irish. It was Gary Kelly, who was off the front, was totally outled, and that followed by McClure, who was unable to hit a drive. And as a consequence of that, they only scored on 5 of the 17 ends played. 18-6 to Australia, a very well-deserved win.
Yes, indeed. So there's our champions heading over to where Stephen McIver awaits. He'll be chatting to those in the meantime. An outstanding effort getting into this final. They did their best out there today, Ireland, as you would expect. They were worthy finalists, but on the day, well beaten by Australia. There's McClure and Gary Kelly. But now let's join the winning combination, Aaron Wilson and Brett Wilkie, with Stephen McIver.
Aaron Wilson, Brett Wilkie, congratulations. You can now call yourself world champions. How does that feel?
Absolutely unbelievable feeling. You'll definitely never forget this one.
How are you feeling right now, mate?
Oh, amazing feeling. We got the start we wanted, and we grounded out, and full credit to the Irish boys. They hung in there and fought it right out to the end.
Aaron, let's talk about Brett right from the get-go, because his lead from right from the start was on point.
Yeah, absolutely fantastic at the front. His first 3 bowls always in play, which as a skip you absolutely love, and gives you every chance to play shots when you need to. But he was absolutely amazing today.
Talk to me about just getting in the groove. Did you feel right from the opening end that you were on song?
Yeah, I felt good. Had a good preparation leading into this morning, and felt comfortable, felt good, and just tried to stay relaxed and just get all my bowls in the head to set it up for Aaron.
Explain to us, Aaron, how demanding it is playing a World Championship, because in the section play, you're playing for hours on end of the day, and then you get to the final. So mentally, how challenging is that?
Oh, it's long days, and definitely going to be mentally tough to get through them, but some fantastic games and opponents.
So the difference between you guys and the rest this week, what has it been?
I think we've just combined really well. If I failed, Aaron's always stepped up, and we've just really got on really well, combined well, and enjoyed each other's company, and even better to get the win now.
I've got to ask you this, Aaron. It's not that hot out here, and you're daubed in zinc. Is this a tradition, or is this just something you thought it might get hot today?
To be fair, New Zealand always get burnt regardless whether the sun's out or not, but it is a tradition to wear the zinc, so always get onto it.
Someone did say November's finished, but that's okay. Congratulations, Brett Wilkie, Aaron Wilson. You two are world pairs champions.
Thank you.